Hello there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny, and today I'm making a layout with the rest of the Inspiration Collaboration Design team. It's our monthly mystery envelope challenge, and I set it this month to use patchwork or quilting or something inspired by patchwork or quilting. But today I've been using up some of my scraps and documenting a friend's wedding. And I've just got as far as doing the title, and I thought actually you'd probably like to see me doing the title. I'm using what's known as an investment set. I got this a while ago from Stampin Up. This is the old style of doing dies, where they've got foam and the metal bit comes out through the foam. It's got a guided groove that it comes out through, and then it cuts the paper, so you can handle these and definitely not cut your fingers whilst you're handling them, which is great, especially if you're doing die cutting with small people. But it does mean that you have to line it up ever so slightly. So you end up cutting off little tiny pieces like that, which it goes. So I'm going to put that one on top, move my layout over so that I can move my die cutting machine into the middle, because I specifically wanted to show you something. You may remember having been told years ago, don't ever put your die going through with a flat edge. While that's still true with the really thin dies that we have now, it's more a case with ones like this, because if I put that through like that with probably about, well, it's more than 1/8 of an inch, but less than 1/4 of an inch of extra between my two plates, that is very likely to break one of my two plates, if not both. So if I put it on the wonk, and then very carefully, I'm using this gold, I realised that I still had this much left of that wonderful paper from not last Christmas but the Christmas before. So I'm lining it up very carefully, and note that it's not straight to the edge, not parallel to the ends, it's on the wonk, and then very carefully put my other one on top. Make sure that it's all lined up, and then roll it through the machine. Oh crap, this is not going to work because I haven't taken the other plate out. So if you were on the Stampin' Up machine, you would take one plate off. Because I'm on an old Sizzix with an all-in-one multi-purpose platform, right, and then I'm going to make sure that it's in the right place, because I do not want to use up some of my precious last bits of this. Not on letters. So there we go, we're back on the wonk. Note, we're on the wonk again, and we've got the sandwich right this time, and we're going to roll it through, and this time it's going to work. Here we go. Did you feel that go much more smoothly? Oof. And then pull it out, and there's my D. Right, now, do I want to cut a bit off, or do I want to just use what I've got here? That is always the question with these. I think I'm going to line it up as carefully as I can on the diagonal there, making sure that the whole thing is covered. And I'm going to go through the other way this time, because that's the way that I've got it lined up. So make sure that all the bits of the actual die are covered. And again, making sure that I'm on the wonk. And then put on my top plate to complete the sandwich. And off I go, rolling through. Yes, that does tend to be the way around that I work. This is true. Oh, that's annoying. Now, it is possible to roll it through again with these dies as well, but it is a lot easier with the modern dies where they started off being called thinlits because they're a lot thinner than these. These aren't called thicklets, by the way. Right, let's see. Actually, it might all come out. You never know. Luck and a following wind's not. Right, in which Jenny fiddles with her dies. Right, I might just pause this for a moment, and then when I've cut out the relevant letters, we can have a little look. Right, no, we're good. That will do for me working out whether it will fit as 2 layers. So, let's and then move this one back across, and then so I want to have a 6x4 here and then 2 3x4s here and here, because they asked me to sing at their wedding whilst they were signing the register. So there's a picture of me, and there's a picture of their wedding cake, and a picture of just them, and then on the other side I've got a horizontal landscape picture of them with I think that will work actually, so we're good. We can go with Danny and Andrew. They, of the whole wedding group. So, and the relevance of these, I've been die cutting a whole pile of things at the moment. Those are from, where did I put it? I put it over there. This set, beautiful pumpkins from last year, and I don't know whether you've ever really looked at pumpkin vines and looked at ivy vines, but they look pretty much the same if you are just doing the basic shape of the leaf and the curly bit of the vine. So I've actually cut out beautiful pumpkin leaves to be ivy vines, because on their wedding cake, Danny decorated it. She handmade every single leaf that was on their wedding cake, and it was several tiers, so there were 3 in the main tier, and then there were a couple of others that were non-traditional wedding cake. In the UK, traditional wedding cake is fruit cake. And she made this cascade of ivy that went all the way around, so I've used it to decorate my subtitle, and I'm going to put some underneath where my journaling is. That's going to be the big picture, and then I'm going to put some up here next to the end of the words. And I've also in this, there is this lovely stamp which I may end up supplementing down here, and I haven't actually stuck the piece that I was going to put down here on, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to use that stamped underneath this, or if I'm going to stick something and make some more of these and stick them on underneath. I'm still in 2 minds on that one, so we will see where we get to, and yes, I will come back when I've got all of the words and put them in the right places. Okay, so here are all the bits stuck down. Well, all the letters are stuck down anyway. I got this subtitle, A Day to Remember, from Celebrate Together. It's about a year old now. So if you picked it up back then you might still have it. I always go for things when I'm looking at stamps and die sets. I go for things that I can use longer term. So this has got a few good background pieces. It's got a little tab, a little arrow, and then a couple of good titles, and then some little mini words. Best of friends, vacation vibes, this happened, what a day, holiday fun and memories. So anyway, these DVD cases are conveniently about 7 3/4 by 5.5. So I know that I've got about 1/2 inch less on the length for where my photo will go. So I could make sure that I had all my placement correct for my stamping here and here. Because I know how big the thing that I'm going to journal on is. So I stamped very carefully, used a post-it note to get my journal space right and to get my subtitle right. And then again up here I did some fussy stamping, and actually that's where that one came in first. It was up there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. This photo is going to be slightly shorter. It's a picture of Danny and Andrew on their wedding. I don't know whether I'm going to use the one that's on their wedding day because they're quite far away, but it does have their bridesmaid in. Or whether I'm going to do a picture of just them, or maybe I'll do a flip flap with their wedding day on top with their bridesmaid as well, and then have ones of just them on the inside. I'm not entirely sure. I need to go and dig through my photos and see what I've got that's good for putting on a layout. But I know I've got a picture of me and John, who was the organist, and I know I've got a picture of the cake. Here we are. And if you happen to know Danny or Andrew, do point them towards this video so they can see the making of for their wedding day. But otherwise, just a quick reminder that in about a week's time this new catalogue will drop. If you are one of my customers, so you've chosen to use me as your demonstrator with Stampin' Up, then you can then just drop me an email and give me your address. I should be sending out an email some point this week, but you'll get ahead of the game if you drop me an email with your address in, and I'll send you your own copy of this. It's worth getting hold of a copy if you can. If you have a demonstrator, just approach them and see if they will send you a copy. And there are also things that come out online, so don't just go with what's in there. Yes. Anyway, this was a stash dive, using up some scraps, repurposing some pumpkin leaves as ivy, and recording my friend's wedding. Don't forget to check out the rest of the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team's videos. I'll pop the link into the description below. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!